So what can we expect to see on the show?
Everything.
Thank you. Sounds good.
Maybe an arrest here or there, the FBI.
Y'all gotta go. It's a wrap for y'all, because this thing turns into something that when y'all get older, y'all don't want to come to. Okay? So, you know, let's just start to get our groove on a little bit.
And then Khloe goes on to say, which is just oh so ironic now.
I know you're known for the parties. When you think of a party or a good time, think of Puff. You do.
And they make this sound like it's such a normal conversation. That's concerning.
I wanted people to get, you know, not have to get dressed up and just come over the house and stay up to the sunrise. And so it was great. I don't remember the party though.
Alright, what's this way? Right here. The big cave, the little cave. The big cave and the little cave.
The Kardashians are linked more to Diddy than you think, as Kim Kardashian has been spotted at some of Diddy's infamous white parties. Everyone knows that the Kardashians are one of the most powerful families out there, but it seems like Kris Jenner wasn't able to wipe this photo of her daughter, Kim, at one of Diddy's white parties off the internet fast enough. Now, photos have surfaced of Kim at one of Diddy's white parties in 2006. Now, this was before her tape with her ex Ray J was leaked, and it was a year before her family started filming Keeping Up with the Kardashians. So, how was she able to get into this exclusive party? That has to do with Paris Hilton. In 2006, Kim began working as a stylist for Paris Hilton as they were childhood friends. Now, at the time, Kim had a closet organizing business, and Paris was one of her clients. Now, Kim appeared in several episodes of the reality series The Simple Life and was frequently photographed with Paris going to events and parties, aka the Diddy Party. And since Paris was a young socialite, she was able to attend the most lavish and exclusive parties, and this included Diddy's. So with her being as close as she was with Kim, she got to tag along too. I mean, in 2008, Paris even spoke out about attending Diddy's first ever party in 1998, saying it was iconic and everyone was there. So it appears that Paris may have been the one who introduced Diddy to Kim. And how convenient is it that a year after she met Diddy, she rose to fame after her tape was leaked with Ray J, who was friends with Diddy. Yes, Kim's ex was very good friends with Diddy. Now, Ray J has actually spoken out about Diddy in the past couple of months and said that a lot of people in the industry had been unaware of anything relating to the serious allegations made against Diddy. Ray J explained, "We've never seen the stuff that's being said and the stuff people are finding out. Like, I've never been in the rooms that people are talking about, and I never knew they existed." And a lot of people in the industry can agree with me on that sense. Like, you all wanted to go and have a good time at a Diddy party. He then proceeded to say that guests wanted to have a good time, be inspired, and work hard the following day because of the good vibes they'd enjoyed. According to Ray J, people are still trying to digest and understand everything, and while the allegations weren't factual yet, they have still proven to be hurtful and confusing for some. Now, shortly before Diddy's mansions were raided earlier this year, Kim actually unfollowed Diddy on social media, as did a number of other stars. Now, did Kim know what was coming? I mean, Kim and her sisters were in the same social circles as Diddy, and the siblings have often spoken of the fun times they had with Diddy, so was Kim aware? Well, it appears that she and her team are trying to quiet any speculation. A user recently posted a video on X, aka Twitter, claiming that Kim was involved in Diddy's infamous tapes and was under an FBI investigation. A user of the social networking site X shared a post with images of a cease and desist order from Kim's lawyer, Christina Davis. The user received the order in an email after they posted claiming Kim was under FBI investigation for being involved in Diddy's infamous videos. Now, the user accused the billionaire of blackmail and taking advantage of men and being possibly embroiled with the notorious tapes. Now, the post read, "Kim Kardashian's lawyer hit me with a cease and desist after I posted a video where someone suggested she might be under FBI investigation for blackmail, mistreating men, and possibly being involved with the infamous Diddy tapes." However, the user stated that such orders are nothing and will continue to speak out on the matter. The caption added, "Their threats and intimidation are pointless. Nothing can stop what's about to unfold. Let me be clear, if I suddenly go silent, that's not my decision." decision. The caption concluded with, "I've now become a target of Balenciaga's most powerful partner." Now, the alleged order from Kim's lawyer stated, "I'm an attorney for Kim Kardashian and write to demand that you immediately cease and desist from publishing false and defamatory statements on the X account at Shadow of Ezra about my client." It further referred to the post shared by the user earlier, due to which the order was being sent to them. It further read, "Your statements claiming Ms. Kardashian has committed crimes or is involved or being investigated for crimes are categorically false and illegal." It also demanded the removal of said video, accusing Kim to be removed immediately, else Ms. Kardashian will pursue legal action for your defamatory statements. Now, some Twitter users are questioning whether the letter is real or not, but all I know is that Kim, and more importantly her mother, wouldn't want her connected in any way with Diddy. I mean, the Kardashians are always wrapped up in their own scandals, and if Kim were connected to him like the Twitter user claims, she could kiss being a lawyer goodbye, as it is just not a good look. While Kim is being tied to Diddy, her ex-husband Kanye West has been praised by people online, as an interview from 2022, the rapper warning people about Diddy. In an interview for Drink Champs, Kanye called out celebrities for allegedly working with law enforcement to turn on other celebrities so they could avoid prison. Now, one of the celebs he called out by name was Diddy. Kanye said that Diddy is making deals to keep himself out of trouble. "The reason why you gotta talk is because you did a deal you effing fed. That's why you've gotta come at me, because part of the deal for you to be able to do all that and get out of jail is that you promise that you're gonna pull my card," he said. Now, a lot of people didn't take this too seriously at the time, as 2022 Kanye was not, well, to say the least. But Diddy eventually was arrested though, so if he was working with law enforcement like Kanye claimed, whatever deal he had was broken. Now, this isn't all though, as that same year, Kanye posted texts between the two of them. One included Kanye saying, "F you, you fed." It seems like Kanye was suspicious of Diddy the whole time, and hey, maybe we should have listened to him. Then there's Kris Jenner. Now, old selfies of Kris and Diddy are resurfacing. Diddy had a close bond with Kris, and once admitted while appearing on her talk show in 2013 that he had a long-time crush on the matriarch. He joked to Kris, "Once you go black, you never go back," as Kris laughed, "Is he flirting with me again?" Then they worked together again in 2013 when she helped him launch his own platform, Revolt TV, and they were spotted hanging out at the Hollywood Walk of Fame ceremony honoring producer and singer Kenneth Babyface Edmonds. Now, it's also been found that Corey Gamble, Kris's longtime boyfriend, has something to do with all this Diddy stuff. An insider said that Corey was aware of Diddy's controversial engagements. A lot of people believe that Corey must have had some knowledge of what was going on, claimed a source. But the insider also noted that Corey totally denies these allegations, which, I mean, of course he would. Now, fans of the Kardashians have always found Corey to be somewhat creepy, and if it turns out that he is connected to all the Diddy stuff, well then that would be bad. In a series of now deleted 2022 social messages, Kanye West also dissed Corey for his connection to Diddy and Justin Bieber. "I think he's a nice person, not a great person, a nice person who used to be around Puffy's family, then got around Justin Bieber." Now, all of this coming out is not a good look for the Kardashian family. However, it's been said that Kris has already started to plan her family's rescue in case things get dirty for her daughters. It's all very ugly and very embarrassing, and Kris is scrambling to distance them from all of this and distract everyone, but that's going to be impossible if they get called in to testify, a source said. Another source said, "All these years that they bragged about partying with Diddy have of course got everyone assuming that they were somehow involved in these depraved freak-offs," the source stated. They then asserted that the family had no idea of the sorts of twisted things he was up to after hours. Now, chatting to In Touch magazine, the insider divulged Diddy had plenty of glamorous parties over the years that weren't freak-offs, at least not until the early morning hours when the majority of people had left. Now, they suggested that Kris is presently scrambling to distance them from all of this.
Where are you going? I'm gonna go to join Diddy. He's doing that. Rick Ross is doing a little concert this afternoon. Really?
I'm gonna be a big star one day.
Big star one day. I'm counting on. I'm betting on you.
Yeah.
If I was at the races, I would bet on Diddy.
Oh, this party?
think half the people there were butt naked. You would have loved it.
The Kardashians have many connections to Diddy, which makes them prime suspects in his case. Starting off, we have Kim. Now, growing up, Kim worked for Paris Hilton, who was a rising socialite who attended Diddy's star-studded parties. I mean, she was even at the first ever white party he threw. Now, as Paris and Kim's bond grew stronger, Kim attended events with Paris, and one of those just so happened to be one of Diddy's parties. Now, photos from that event are from 2006. Now, this was before Kim's tape got released and a year before her family started filming Keeping Up with the Kardashians. But by that time, she was already growing close with Diddy and started to build her connection with the star. Now, Kim's ex-husband, Kanye West, actually used to be really good friends with Diddy as well. Now, a resurfaced clip of Kanye calling out Diddy has been going around, as 2 years ago Kanye claimed that Diddy was working with law enforcement and that's why he was getting away with some of the stuff he was doing. In the interview for Drink Champs, Kanye called out celebrities for allegedly working with law enforcement to turn on other celebrities so they could avoid prison. One of the celebs he called out by name was Diddy. Kanye said that Diddy is making deals to keep himself out of trouble. The reason why you gotta talk is because you did a deal you fed. That's why you've gotta come at me, because part of the deal for you to be able to do all of that and to get out of jail is that you promise that you're gonna pull my card, he said. Now, a lot of people didn't take this seriously as Kanye was acting, well, pretty much insane in 2022, and he was just full of hate, but it seems like he actually might have been right about this. But the Kardashian who has the most history with Diddy is Khloe. Now, Khloe actually interned for Diddy when she was younger and even accompanied him on one of his tours. Since then, she stayed friends with him, and he's been the topic of conversation on plenty of episodes of Keeping Up. In an episode titled Secrets of a Double Life, Khloe shared her experience attending one of Diddy's wild parties, and in the scene she's talking to her sister Kourtney and says, "I got on a plane at 5 a.m. Well, this party, I think half the people there were butt naked." She added the playful remark teasing Kourtney, saying, "You would have loved it." Now, the list of attendees, as Khloe casually mentioned, included Diddy himself, his son Quincy, and Justin Bieber. Now, Khloe has also shared her thoughts on Diddy's parties before. During a 2016 appearance on Cocktails with Khloe, she praised Diddy for his parties. "Well, I know you're known for the parties. When you think of a good time, you think of Puff," she remarked. Diddy simply responded with "yeah," and Khloe said, "We've been known to party with you a few times." This made it clear that the 2014 event wasn't the only Diddy party that she had attended. Now, to top it all off, Kourtney was there too. Khloe then turned to her sister and asked, "Do you remember Diddy's birthday?" And Kourtney then responded, "Yes, I forgot about that. That was an epic night too." And Khloe then would continue partying with Diddy years later. In 2019, she posted a photo on Instagram along with her sisters Kylie and Kim from Diddy's 50th birthday party. The sisters are posing with Diddy in the photo, who's wearing a silver suit, and the caption reads, "Nothing like a Diddy party." Now, this Instagram post is still up on her page, and a lot of people are looking back at it saying that it's aged like milk, and it has left them questioning why she hasn't deleted it yet. I don't know though, I feel like it would be more suspicious if she did delete it, but hey, that's just my opinion. Now, regardless, the Kardashians have shared similar social circles to Diddy for a long time, and it seems like some of them are trying to distance themselves from him. In March, right before his houses were raided, Kim unfollowed Diddy on Instagram. And she's not the only celebrity who did this either. Barely any celebrities have spoken out about what's going on with Diddy, and barely anyone is defending him. It seems like Hollywood has determined that he's guilty. Now, another one of Kim's exes, Ray J, has spoken out about Diddy recently, as he used to be good friends with the rapper, but now he doesn't know what to believe. He spoke to Chris Cuomo on News Nation's Cuomo, where he discussed his own experiences at Diddy parties. According to Ray J, there are a lot of people in the industry who are completely unaware of the allegations currently against Diddy. We've never seen the stuff that's being said and the stuff people are finding out. Like, I've never been in rooms that people are talking about, and I never knew they existed, he explained. And a lot of people in the industry can agree with me in that sense. Like, all you wanted to go and have a good time at a Diddy party. And hey, maybe the Kardashians were a part of this crowd and truly had no idea about what was going on. But Ray J then did a recent interview where he revealed more than before. He said, "I'm hearing about artists paying victims to keep their names out of it. Somebody has the truth, somebody pays you to keep it quiet, and hopefully that money you got paid secures your happiness while you watch the lie continue to succeed," he said. Now, interviewer Harvey Levin then pushed Ray J by asking if he knew anyone personally who had been offered money to stay quiet. The songwriter replied, "Here's the other way around it, Harvey. I'll give you money, please don't talk." He then claimed that high-profile individuals are reaching out to him, alleging, "They want to talk to me about what happened to them, they call me, they feel like they can trust me." Levin then asked if those contacting Ray J are high-profile celebrities who have an affiliation with Diddy, and he responded, "Yes, that's exactly what I'm saying. And I don't know why I said it, but so what? Now they're gonna be mad, come get me." Ray J then said, "I think I said too much." Now, in the interview, he did not name any names, but it still raised a lot of eyebrows. An insider close to the Kardashian family has said that they are in panic mode right now of how the family is reacting to the controversy. All these years that they bragged about partying with Diddy have, of course, got everyone assuming that they were somehow involved in these depraved freak-offs. The insider then said that the Kardashians are all insisting that they weren't involved in freak-offs and had no idea the sorts of twisted things he was up to after hours. Now, the source also pointed out that the family might not have been aware of the alleged criminal activity at the parties. They added, "Diddy had plenty of glamorous parties over the years that weren't freak-offs, at least not until the early morning hours when the majority of people had left." Now, the source also commented on Kris Jenner's partner Corey Gamble and his connection to Diddy. Jaguar Wright accused Corey of being present when Diddy's ex-partner Kim Porter passed away of pneumonia in 2018. Now, despite her passing being ruled natural, conspiracy theories state that Kim discovered Diddy's crimes and threatened to expose him. Now, the theory continues to state that Diddy went to great lengths to ensure that wouldn't happen, and when addressing the rumors surrounding Corey, the insider told In Touch that a lot of people believe he must have had some knowledge of what was going on, which he totally denies. The source added, "It's all very ugly and very embarrassing, and Kris is scrambling to distance them all from this and distract everyone, but that's going to be impossible if they get called to testify." Now, there have been some Kardashian fans who have always gotten some weird vibes from Corey, and now it's all starting to make sense for them. I mean, who knows how deep his connection in all of this really goes.
You're cordially invited to celebrate the birth of Sean Puffy-Combs.
Oprah Winfrey has been tied to so many awful people, and the things that she's done throughout the years have only been in service to certain people.
Oh, is it true that they paid you $1 million for the endorsement?
Not true.
Not true, okay.
That was a easy one. What am I doing? I have different personalities, you know what I'm saying? Nobody knows who's coming downstairs in the morning.
Oprah Winfrey is arguably one of the most well-known people in Hollywood, from building her own empire with her talk show and production company, but she has a tie to one of the most evil men out there right now, Diddy. Now, Oprah and Diddy are actually friends, as they've been spotted together plenty of times. They've attended charity events, been spotted at award shows, at Diddy's infamous parties, and Oprah even had him as a guest on her talk show back in the day. But when he was a guest, it was just, well, weird. As you may know, Diddy has gone by many different names. His legal name is Sean Combs, he then changed his middle name to Love at one point, he's gone by Puff Daddy, Puffy, P. Diddy, and Diddy. Why all these names? It's honestly so confusing, but it seems like Diddy will never share why they change. In 1996, under the name Puff Daddy, he released his first commercial vocal work as a rapper. He then changed his stage name from Puff Daddy to P. Diddy in 2001. On August 16, 2005, he announced on Today that he was altering his stage name yet again and would be calling himself Diddy. He then changed his name once again on November 5, 2017, when he announced he'd be going by the name Love, stating, "My new name is Love, aka Brother Love." 2 days later, he told the press that he was joking, but then on January 3, 2018, he announced on Jimmy Kimmel Live that he had changed his mind again and will be using the new name after all. all. Now, the change became official in 2022, but personally I just call him Diddy because all of this is just confusing, and not only for me, as many other people have been confused by what to call him and even why he's had all these different names that constantly change. Now, in 2006, while making an appearance on the Oprah Winfrey Show, Oprah tried to get to the bottom of Diddy's stage names, why he changed them, and even what they meant. Diddy, though, was not going to give up that information that easily. He said, "It's a nickname somebody gave me. I've never told anyone that. I know you get people to tell you everything, Oprah, but I can't look you in the eye and explain that one." He then shoved the question aside and said it's just a silly name. It was then made clear that he didn't want to share the deeper meaning and the significance of his stage name, and what's strange is that Oprah did not probe him anymore and just accepted that she wouldn't get an answer. Diddy then said, "I'll answer every other question except that one," which is just so weird. And why did Oprah just accept that? She's known for questioning and pushing her guests, but she just accepted this. Now, does she know something we don't? I mean, it's just strange overall. Now, in his other interviews, Diddy opened up about his many nicknames. As well, speaking with CNN, he shared, "I've had different name changes because I only just grew up in a neighborhood where everybody had nicknames. My nickname was Puffy," and he said he was given the nickname Puff as a child because he would huff and puff when he was angry. But it seems like that's all the information we'll get. I don't know why he's making such a big deal of it though, and it honestly just makes him even more suspicious. I mean, does Oprah know the true meaning of this? Regardless, it's just weird behavior. Recently, leaked footage shows Oprah and many other star-studded celebrities inviting people to Diddy's 29th birthday party. Now, among Oprah is Chris Rock, Ellen DeGeneres, Ben Stiller, Stephen Baldwin, and Will Smith. With this video being leaked, a lot more celebrities are being accused of being involved in Diddy's crimes. One person commented on the video, "It's crazy, anyone I see here is a suspect to me," which I gotta say, I agree with. Now, another person commented, "I think it's foul that not one person was staying away from him then, and supposedly they knew. No one was saying a word. Didn't he have some kind of big 4th of July party that anyone who was anyone would be at every year? Those people should be just as guilty accomplices." Now, only a minute or so of this footage was released, but it said that the whole invite is 6 minutes long. Now, what happened with the rest of the footage though? Maybe it exposes sensitive information that would make Diddy and other celebrities look bad. Regardless, it's just very strange again, and the fact that Oprah was a part of this is a pretty big red flag. Attorney Tony Busby, who is representing over 120 alleged victims of Diddy's controversial freak-off parties, has finally begun sending demand letters to A-list celebrities who attended these events. Now, the letters have actually urged all the stars to settle out of court or face potential lawsuits, even if they did not engage in any kind of illegal activities. Tony has put forward an argument that their silence and inaction during the events makes them complicit, while stating that those who witnessed wrongdoing but did not intervene share the same level of liability as the perpetrators. Now, in a recent appearance on TMZ, Tony emphasized on the fact that the demand letters are a standard practice to outline the situation and encourage dialogue, but at the same time, he is fully prepared to escalate to lawsuits if that becomes necessary. He also noted that many celebrities are scrubbing their social media accounts to distance themselves from Sean Diddy Combs amidst the ongoing scandal. Then there's also Oprah's canceled documentary. Now, Oprah apparently spent a fortune to make sure her docuseries created about her never sees the light of day after clashing with Oscar-winning filmmaker and director Kevin McDonald over the project. As the Apple TV Plus deal was coming to an end, Miss Winfrey bought back the rights to her docuseries and has since decided to put the doc on hold, a spokesperson for Oprah told Page 6. In addition, another source said Kevin made the film, but Oprah didn't like it and he refused to change it, and Oprah has paid back her fee to Apple. Now, internet users reacted to the news that the documentary was being put on hold, and they were not impressed. Many questioned if Oprah was worried some damaging information was set to become public. Well, now isn't this sketchy? One person wrote in Page 6's comment section. Now, another individual asked, what is she afraid of or hiding? A similar take showed up on Twitter, as one person wrote, "What is Oprah hiding?" while another tweeted, "Oprah Winfrey shelled out a fortune to prevent a documentary release. Sounds legit, money talks, right? Not the truth." And yeah, I gotta say that is pretty sketchy sounding. Now it seems like Oprah has a pattern of being friends with some rich and powerful and problematic men, as this is not the first time people have noticed her choice in questionable friends. And with Oprah being as powerful as she is, people have started to question whether she's been directly involved in some of the crimes that have been happening in Hollywood. In 2020, rumors were going around that Oprah's house had been raided and she had been arrested in connection to many crimes. In a tweet though, she responded and said, "Just got a phone call that my name is trending and being trolled for some awful fake thing. It's not true. Haven't been raided or arrested. Just sanitizing and self-distancing with the rest of the world. Stay safe, everybody." Selma director Ava DuVernay also defended Oprah, posting, "Trolls and bots began this disgusting rumor. Mean-spirited minds keep it going. Oprah has worked for decades on behalf of others, given hundreds of millions to individuals and causes in need, shared her own mistreatment as a child to help folks heal. Shame on all who participated in this." But then again, this year, those rumors have arisen again. And who knows, maybe there's some truth to them this time. People have finally been noticing some of the sketchy stuff that's come out about Oprah, and maybe her downfall is upon us, especially considering her connection to Diddy.
I think half of the people there were butt naked.
You guys are definitely like dating. Britney Spears, Justin Timberlake, or Puff Daddy and Halo.
From old episodes of Keeping Up with the Kardashians, the one that was closest to Diddy, it seems, was definitely Khloe.
Maybe an arrest here or there, the FBI.
Big K, a little K.
No, but check it out. We all are proud of you. This is something that's big, and I'm praying that.
Love you.
Love. Alright, go, Kris.
Love you guys. Love you.
Love.
Instead of them grinding and getting their grind on and taking care of their family or looking in the mirror, you may be experiencing some of your fellow friends or co-workers hitting you with hate.
So when Khloe Kardashian posts photos of her family, True and Tatum, the comment section is usually just flooded with well wishes. It's like, oh, what a cute family, how great. However, there was a post she made on September 24th of this year that saw suspicion and anger mixed in amongst the usual comments of like, oh, so cute. Followers appear to be turning on Khloe and her entire family due to their previous association with Puff Daddy. So this Instagram post, pretty cute, right? Like she's dropping off her family at school, and there was a lot of positive comments, like pop singer Chloe Bailey was like, oh my gosh, best mama. But then you gotta look at the ick. So we're just glossing over the sick fact that she and the other Kardashians knew what went on at parties, said one commenter, and then we've got this comment in all caps. I'm not gonna yell it, but you'll get the emphasis. This circus is trying to deflect from them parties they went to. Direct quote, pardon the programmer. Look folks, for many decades, anybody who knew anything about Hollywood parties knew that Puff Daddy parties were the place to be. He had his annual Hamptons White Party, he had these blowout birthday bashes, like these lavish soirees were attended by everybody. Jay-Z and Beyonce, Jennifer Lopez, Leonardo DiCaprio, the Kardashians, they were like the socialites, so obviously they had to be at the parties. For his 50th birthday, Puff Daddy had the whole Kardashian family there, as well as Pharrell, Kate Beckinsale, Naomi Campbell, and now, obviously, in light of recent events, all these images are going viral on social media because folks want to know what megastars were at these parties and what parties did they go to. And in some images, it looks like everybody's like having a good time. They've all got bottles of some fun liquid. There's a photo of Leonardo DiCaprio having some fun. There's Mariah Carey having a good time. But there's one image that stands out to me. Puff Daddy screaming at one party. He's got Paris Hilton in his arms and Kim K by his side. So obviously that had to have been during the era when Paris had Kim being her assistant. But like, still Kim, we got questions. But let's get back to Khloe for a moment. So there is a video that recently redid numbers on social media because in it we see Khloe Kardashian bragging about partying with a music mogul. This was in an older episode of Keeping Up with the Kardashians. I think it aired in 2014, so about 10 years ago now, and it showed the now 40-year-old catching up with her sister Kourtney as she unpacked a wild party with a bunch of her friends, including, but not limited to, Puff Daddy, Justin Bieber, and French Montana. Later in the episode, Khloe was enjoying a bowling session with a pal and she mentioned, I haven't been to bed yet. I got on a plane at 5:30. She was still talking about the party, going into details that I can't talk about, but like, once again, what's going on? Looks like the friendship was long lasting because 2 years later, so 2016, Khloe invited Puff Daddy to appear on her Cocktails with Khloe series, where she hailed him as a hardworking yet eclectic person, saying, well, I know you're known for the parties. When you think of a party or a good time, you think of Puff. She's like, we've been known to party with you a few times. Obviously, the we was the family, because she turned to her sister Courtney, who was also in this episode. She's like, yeah, you were just at Puffy's birthday. And she's like, yeah, I forgot about that. That was an epic night too. Every night. She's like, yeah, that was fun because like all the girls ditched me, so it was like me and the boys. It was me, Kanye, Corey, T, and we were all just hanging out and it was fun. I loved it. So once again, the sisters are heaping praise on Puff Daddy. Khloe added, like, I don't know how you have all the energy, but that's who you are and that's why people are so drawn to you, because you're so eclectic. No matter what, no matter how much you work, you don't sleep, you don't do anything, and that's just you. And this friendship is still going strong. We're gonna go down the timeline, folks. 2019, Khloe's still posting pictures of Puff Daddy. So that's only, carry the one, 5 years ago, folks. And she could be seen posing with the now disgraced producer. Also, we've got Kim and Kylie. These photos were to commemorate Puffy's celebrity packed 50th birthday party that I mentioned earlier. So sure, if we're gonna go throughout the family tree, I know a lot of outlets have claimed that Kim was among those who unfollowed Puff Daddy on Instagram, but nobody in the family has really spoken publicly about the speculation. So here's the thing. Khloe has literally said so many times that there's nothing like a Puffy party, and like, girl, what were these parties? Tell me more. Okay, we do have to say that nobody in the famous family has been linked to any of the allegations that Puffy is facing, but they haven't spoken out following his arrest. Not to say like, hey, we weren't at this, hey, that was bad. They've been fawning over him publicly for how many years now, folks? Like a decade, if not more. I know Kris Jenner's partner, Corey Gamble, had ties to the rapper. So like, once again, why are they not speaking out? Well, apparently they might be dreading the prospect of testifying at his trial. According to an insider, they're actually in panic mode. Like the whole family's like, oh my gosh, all these years they've been bragging about partying with them. And obviously everybody's assuming and wondering, were they involved in the freakoffs? Now, if you don't know, those are the carefully organized events that involved activities with professional workers. So according to sources, the whole family was like, yeah, no, we're not involved. We just can't say anything, because they had no idea the sorts of twisted things that he was up to after hours. But yet, the girls were talking about partying with him to 5:30 a.m., and we all know the timeline of what party happened when. Now, sure, sources have said that yes, Puffy had plenty of glamorous parties over the years that weren't freak-offs, at least not until the early morning hours when the majority of people had left. Well, once again, folks, early morning hours, we're going back to leaving the party at 5:30. That screams early morning to me. How about you? Going back to Corey for a moment, he shared a post in a couple of years ago honoring the family, honoring one of Puff Daddy's partners. So like, a lot of folks think that Corey must have had some knowledge of what was going on at these parties, being so close to Puffy and his partner, which like, he's totally denying. Yes, sure, this is all very ugly and very embarrassing, and Kris, being the absolute ultimate PR person, is scrambling to distance themselves from everything and distract everybody. But it's kind of impossible when you've been bragging about it for so long. So let's talk about a lot of Puffy's parties for a moment. Let's go back to 1999. Puffy was talking about his white holidays, and it's kind of hit the news for a couple of reasons you're gonna find out in a moment. He said in 1999, and I quote, "They don't want me to party anymore, but we're not gonna stop. We will continue to have fun, to unite people from all walks of life." And he made a prediction, folks. He said, you will hear about my holidays. They're going to shut them down. Maybe they're going to arrest me. They're going to do all kinds of crazy things just because we want to have a good time. He said, and I quote, "Whenever you bring a different element into people's environments, things that broaden people's horizons, people get intimidated. It's a lot of people out there that feel intimidated by it." Now, I gotta ask, if you were predicting this in 1999, what were you doing back then? How did you know that this was gonna go sour? He's also joked publicly about his tactics for keeping women from ditching his get-togethers. He did this back in 2002 on Late Night with Conan O'Brien, because Conan asked, like, how do you throw a great party? And he said, woman. Beautiful woman, of course. Beautiful men for the ladies, of course. You need some water. I don't know if guys have noticed this, but a lot of ladies drink water at the parties, so if you don't have what they need, they're gonna leave. Gotta keep them there. Need locks on the door. Now, when Conan O'Brien was like, that sounds kinda dangerous, Diddy tried laughing that off, and it's like, no, that actually sounds like a bit of a safety concern. Like, I wouldn't want to be locked at a party. So sure, as allegations are surfacing and we're going through all these details about all the heinous things, it might be a while before we get the details that we want. Turns out a lot of attendees were forced to sign NDAs, so whoops. Now, it is a very standard NDA. It's just like, okay, you can't share information related to Puff Daddy, any partners, any family members, friends, business associates. Can't take any photos, you can't film anything, can't record anything without Puff Daddy's consent or, whatnot. You also can't share anything to social media, you can't post photos or videos. So sure, it makes sense why certain things aren't getting out, but then, I don't know. Oh, and also you can't give interviews, write books, or discuss anything. So I guess that's why we're not getting the information that we need, but at the same time, come on folks.
Doing all types of crazy things just because we want to have a good time. We're going to hear about my party, they're going to be shutting them down, they're going to probably be arresting me.
Resurfaced photos of Kris Jenner and Diddy show just how close the two stars were. Covering all this and more ahead in Kris Jenner-Diddy party photos that were leaked to the public. Kris Jenner is known for being the momager to the Kardashian-Jenner family, skyrocketing the women from unknowns to A-listers. That means that throughout her life, the matriarch often interacted with and showed off her hangouts with other famous celebrities. Many photos appeared on Kris Jenner's social medias showing her with Sean Diddy Combs. What was once harmless snaps of friends meeting up are now being scrutinized due to all the recent accusations against the rapper. Combs has had a rough year after his many sins from the past few decades have finally come to light. Just over a year ago now, the first major lawsuit against Diddy was filed by his ex-girlfriend, Cassie Ventura. In the lawsuit, the woman claimed that Diddy had acted violently and once inappropriately towards her. It was reported the day after news of the lawsuit broke that new reports emerged that Cassie and Combs reached a settlement in private. However, the seal was broken and it wasn't long before all of the music artist's past transgressions started getting revealed. 2 more lawsuits were filed against the man almost a week later, then a 4th in December, and pretty soon Diddy started either losing or stepping down from company partnerships. More accusations came in the new year and throughout 2024, the most shocking being video evidence that everything Cassie Ventura claimed Diddy did to her was true. If you can believe it, not everyone trusted Cassie's account when she first filed her lawsuit in November. Diddy was such a prominent individual, people didn't want to believe it. The hotel surveillance footage of Combs being as violent as he was accused of made the public overwhelmingly aware of the fact that Diddy not only did those awful things, but was also capable of doing everything else he was accused of, like the alleged freak-off parties that we'll talk about shortly. It's unclear if Kris Jenner knew about this side to the music artist when she was posting all the selfies with him over the years, though some news publications like In Touch Weekly have reported that an insider has said that the Kardashian family is in panic mode. Years of them bragging about being close with the rapper are coming back to haunt them as people wonder just how close they were. Close enough to know what he was doing behind closed doors, or kept at just the right distance to have been kept in the dark about it all. Kris Jenner and Diddy shared a notable interview on Kris's self-titled talk show in August of 2013. The man even let it slip that he had a crush on Kris Jenner for a long time. The interview featured plenty of playful flirting between the pair. The pair stayed close over the years after this. TheList.com reports that Jenner even helped the rapper when it came to promotion for his new TV platform, Revolt TV. But Kris isn't the only family member with a connection to the disgraced rapper. Over the years, the entire Kardashian-Jenner family has been spotted at or have bragged about attending many of the music artist's famous parties. It was once a status symbol to be on a Diddy guest list. Kylie Jenner was even an ambassador for the previously mentioned Revolt TV. Many of the women were spotted attending Diddy's 50th birthday celebration in December of 2019. Sister Kim Kardashian has been photographed attending Diddy events even back before she was the superstar she is today. Kim famously started her Hollywood journey as a personal assistant to socialite Paris Hilton. The pair were close and were even pictured hanging out at the parties with Diddy together. Khloe Kardashian has also made it known that she was close with the man. In an episode of Keeping Up with the Kardashians from 2014, Khloe Kardashian was taped recounting the Diddy party she had recently attended, saying that at least half the people in attendance were unclothed. Previously in the episode, Khloe had been speaking to her sister Kourtney about the event. Kourtney had been listing off many famous names who Khloe had been with that weekend, including Justin Bieber, who would have been about 20 at the time. At the time, this conversation was nothing more than a recount of a wild Hollywood party, but with all the new information the public has learned about what went on behind closed doors in Diddy's life, it's raised some alarm. People are now accusing the Kardashian of attending one of Diddy's freak-off parties as opposed to a regular star-studded bash. The freak-offs were the times when Diddy would allegedly force women to engage in intimate acts against their will. Even if a party didn't start as a freak-off, many photos and videos taken from the event suggest that freaky things were still happening, or it later dissolved into one. From Khloe's account, she was either at a freak-off or just a party with unclothed individuals in attendance. Multiple news publications report that many Diddy parties started off as a standard party that later descended into a freak-off. One notable bash was the 2005 VMAs after party. This was attended by stars like Paris Hilton, Eva Longoria, and more. According to the US Sun, as the party switched from a nightclub to Diddy's mansion in the early morning, the big names had long departed the event, and while in his home, the festivities had descended into a freak-off. Footage from the later half of the party allegedly shows Diddy wearing the same outfit he had been in the VMA party pics. There have also been bashes where it's unclear if the whole party was designed to be a freak-off or to become one later. Photos from a year before the 2005 event featuring Will Smith have recently resurfaced online. The photos that do feature Will Smith make the event appear as a regular party. Smith is simply smiling and conversing with host Sean Diddy Combs. However, other snaps from the same evening show the less than family-friendly side of the event. Apparently, a Japanese practice was being incorporated into the evening, the practice of consuming food off of an unclothed woman's body. Photos from the evening show Diddy leaning over the uncovered, except for a leaf on her lower half, woman while eating a chocolate strawberry. The woman on the table is surrounded by candles, leaves, grapes, and more chocolate-covered strawberries. It's unclear if Smith also engaged in this specific aspect of the party or kept his distance. The most famous event Diddy hosted, the event that everyone wanted to be on the guest list for, was his Labor Day and all-white parties. At their peak, these parties were attended by the most famous faces in Hollywood: Leonardo DiCaprio, Paris Hilton, and of course the Kardashians. To put it simply, if you were invited to one of these things, it meant you were somebody. A strict all-white dress code was enforced since the first of these parties was hosted on Labor Day, but it stuck because there was another reason that Diddy shared in a 2006 interview with famous TV show host Oprah. He said, "I wanted to strip away everyone's image and put us all in the same color and on the same level." It's no wonder he wanted everyone on the same plane, considering the levels of fame severely varied. Putting everyone on the same level would also help Diddy build his brand. If you are visibly on the same level as the most famous people in the world, you've won half the battle. Many have said that Diddy was obsessed with his image and his fame, which aligns with the white party theme. A professor from the University of Virginia explained the rise of Diddy, saying that many rappers, like Diddy, hold symbolic value for the public. It's something he called the Diddy phenomenon. He further explained that eventually the artists grow so big they hold an influence over culture that makes people want to be near them. That's how Diddy became larger than life and how his parties turned into a hot ticket. Diddy's white parties ended around 2009 when the rapper just stopped spending so much time in the areas where he used to throw them. However, the mantle has been taken up by another star and the date has changed instead to the 4th of July. That is why you still hear about these flings every year, and the two shouldn't be confused. Photos from one of Diddy's infamous parties featuring stars like Will Smith have recently resurfaced, causing quite an uproar on the internet. We'll cover all this and more, so stick around. Famous rapper Sean Diddy Combs has been making headlines for the better part of the year after it was discovered that he was not treating other people as he should and forcing women in particular into situations against their will. Ever since the first lawsuit against the music artist came to light in November of last year, every name ever attached to this man has been looked at under a microscope. And Diddy in particular has built many famous connections over the years thanks to his infamous parties. It was a status symbol to be invited because the guest list included many big stars like Bruce Willis, Will Smith, and even once Leonardo DiCaprio, or even more recently the Kardashians. Basically, it meant something to be in attendance at one of these parties. But now what was once a great honor is proving to be many stars' greatest mistake. As more and more photos resurface from past Diddy-hosted events, more and more famous faces find themselves tangled up in the mess simply from being in the same place. And now this is happening to famous actor Will Smith. Smith attended and was likewise photographed at one of Diddy's parties back in 2004, almost 2 decades ago. Now this party in particular, from the photos Smith is in, it doesn't look too strange, a regular bash. However, other photos allegedly taken from the evening show the less family-friendly side of the event. In one photo, you can clearly see an unclothed woman lying on a table surrounded by and with food on top of her body. She has a leaf to protect her lower half, however she is exposed everywhere else. One picture shows Combs standing over the woman and staring down at her while eating what appears to be a chocolate strawberry. The woman is surrounded by these chocolate strawberries and grapes and other food items and candles. The act of eating off of an unclothed woman is actually a known Japanese practice that some would consider an art, but it was outlawed in China in 2005 after it was deemed a public health concern and morally wrong. Despite the photos from this particular party being available for decades, people are just starting to overanalyze them now due to all the accusations against Combs. Technically, Diddy was enjoying a Japanese practice, but his past inappropriate actions have made people wonder if the woman on the table was a willing participant or simply forced to be there. It appears Will Smith was in attendance at this particular party. In one photo, you can see him conversing with Combs, and in another, with Combs and another gentleman, while Bruce Willis sits beside them at the table. One can assume all these photos were taken on the same night due to Combs wearing the same outfit as the one in the photo with the unclothed woman. Will Smith and Combs are only pictured talking to one another. It's unclear if Smith also visited the table with the woman or kept his distance. It appears that this party in particular was possibly one of Diddy's famous white parties. These were hosted on Labor Day and everyone had to wear white, hence the name. Diddy shared in a 2006 interview with famous TV host Oprah why everyone in attendance must wear white, saying, "I wanted to strip away everyone's image and put us all in the same color and on the same level." Considering the range in fame of attendees of the event, it makes sense that he would want everyone on the same page. To be invited to this Diddy party in particular was once a privilege. It was attended by stars like Paris Hilton and the Kardashians. So if you were there, it meant you were somebody. In the photos of the party, almost everyone, including Diddy, is wearing white. However, some notable guests weren't, like Will Smith and Owen Wilson, who were also pictured at the event. Considering the all-white clothing policy was strictly enforced at the Labor Day bashes, it's possible that this 2004 event was just an average celebration. Another type of party that Diddy would allegedly host was very different, and it was called freakoffs. Some of the people that accused the rapper of inappropriate behavior described events that happened at these particular parties, citing things like forcing women into inappropriate acts while the rapper watched. Victims of these freak-off parties allegedly endured such physical exertion that they were given IV fluids after in order to fully recover. Knowing that Diddy allegedly often would force people into things they didn't want to do has made the situation with the woman on the table much more concerning. Diddy had a large influence in Hollywood to the point where one professor at the University of Virginia had dubbed it the Diddy phenomenon. Professor A.D. Carson specializes in hip-hop and the global south and has explained the rapper's influence and reason behind it. Professor Carson said, "Rappers kind of operate with a symbolic value to people. That's the Diddy phenomenon." The professor went even further and claimed that because Diddy eventually grew into a person that had a huge influence over black culture, it made him someone other black celebrities wanted to be around. Not only has Diddy been pictured at parties with celebrities like Will Smith, but also with Oprah and Usher on other occasions, like at the 2010 Met Gala after party. But Diddy and Will Smith have a connection past just partying. A rumor made its rounds that while Diddy was dating J-Lo in the late 90s, early 2000s, Will Smith and his wife had propositioned the Jenny from the Block singer with an invitation to join them in bed. Allegedly, Diddy wasn't too happy with that and threatened to attack Smith. A wild rumor indeed that found its way into a more recent segment of Jimmy Kimmel Live. Never one to shy away from anything, Kimmel straight up asked the rapper if this was true. At first, the music artist made absolutely no movements, just kept his face in a very serious mask. Eventually, he did respond with, "You really heard that?" and laughed the whole thing off, claiming he didn't know what Kimmel was talking about. The talk show host played into the bit, making a remark about how one can't believe everything they read on the internet. Even if the rumor proved to be true, Smith and Combs must have worked it out, considering they were pictured at multiple events together in later years, including the premiere of Hancock in 2008. Plus, in a turn of fate, Diddy happened to be the person speaking next at the Oscars the year that Will Smith rocked Chris Rock live on television. After the moment happened, Diddy had come out on stage and said, "I did not know that this year was going to be the most exciting Oscars ever. Okay, Will and Chris, we're going to solve that like family at the gold party, okay? But right now, we're going to move on with love." As the current year keeps moving forward, more and more details about Diddy's case come to light. Diddy's so-called freak-off parties have been a hot topic of conversation. Allegedly, 1,000 bottles of lubricant widely reported to be babe baby oil, specifically, were found in the rapper's home. Allegedly, these were bought to be used for the elaborate freakoffs. Diddy's lawyer claims that the number of bottles was blown way out of proportion and tried to reason out why the rapper would need so many at all, saying things like the rapper has a large house and would buy in bulk, as if that explains the situation at all. He even tried bringing up popular bulk buying store Costco, claiming that people always buy large amounts of one item there all the time. Costco was quick to detach themselves from the narrative and came out with a statement that no store in the US even carries baby oil. Combs attempted to deny any wrongdoing for a very long time, but then on May 17th this year, a video surfaced of him doing exactly what he was accused of in a lawsuit filed November 16th, 2023. The video was surveillance footage from 2016 taken in a hotel. Diddy's girlfriend at the time was Cassie Ventura, the same woman who filed that November lawsuit. The video essentially showed Diddy doing everything to her that she had said in her lawsuit, acting violently towards her and apparently throwing things. It became undeniable that the rapper was more than capable of committing the acts he had been accused of by many different parties and individuals.
For the next 53 seconds, we'll take an in-depth look inside Diddy parties.
Can't tell that one either.
Usher, how you been, man? I've been seeing you so long.
How much did we drink?
It's hard to say which is more off the hook, a Diddy party or a Diddy after party, or a Diddy after party.
And they don't want me to throw the parties no more. But we ain't gonna stop. We gonna keep on having fun, bringing people together from all walks of life.
My baby bro, we here. Tomorrow it's time. It's time. What you gonna do to that thing, man?
When I got my star on Hollywood, I had a party. And this year at Burning Man, at an undisclosed location.
No, you can embrace it.
Yeah, it comes now, baby.
P. Diddy, thank you for coming by. Come see us anytime.
Puff Daddy's recent arrest on racketeering charges and more things I can't say has sent shockwaves through Hollywood, turning the spotlight on his infamous past parties. And when you think about attendees like Ashton Kutcher, Leonardo DiCaprio, Usher, and so many more, we've got stuff to talk about. There is an old video of celebrities raving about these parties that has resurfaced on the internet. It features the likes of Fat Joe, Nicole Richie, and other folks who are regular guests at these exclusive soirees. In the clip, a young Derek Jeter recounts Puff Daddy hosting a party on a jet that flew around the world for days. The former professional baseball player said,
"Now it started on a Tuesday and somehow ended on the previous Sunday. I don't know how he did that."
Elsewhere in the video, Fat Joe spun a wild narrative about how the parties seem to blend into one another, with no clear beginning or end. He said it's hard to say which is more off the hook. A Puffy party, a Puffy after party, or a Puffy after party, which is basically a pre-party for the next party. Nicole Richie also joked in the video about the famous parties.
Now that I'm engaged, I've decided to slow down a little. 3 Diddy parties a week, maybe 4. Well, not including the weekends.
Like, girl, spill more. Ashton Kutcher was somebody who went to a lot of these parties. His friendship with Puff Daddy is an old one. In the mid-2000s, the pair were so close that they took to bragging about themselves. They're like, yeah, us, Jamie Foxx, we're the new Rat Pack. You know, Rat Pack. You get it. In a 2019 Hot Ones interview, Ashton Kutcher told host Sean Evans that, yeah, there's a lot that I can't say about this friendship. He was like, yeah, no, can't tell that story. Going through the Rolodex, can't tell that one either. And apparently the stories are so wild that Ashton Kutcher thinks he's expecting a subpoena about Puff Daddy's wrongdoing. And yes, we do have to say that Puff has argued his innocence by pleading not guilty, but apparently Ashton Kutcher is worried about potential betrayal. Now, he hasn't made any public comments that we know of, but rumors indicate he's privately wrestling with concerns about what Puff Daddy might reveal to save his own skin. A close source told Daily Mail that Puff Daddy could say anything, do anything, or turn on anyone to stay out of jail, especially folks who attended a lot of his parties. Ashton Kutcher absolutely, allegedly, regrets his friendship with Puff Daddy considering what has happened. He feels lied to, betrayed, taken for granted, and manipulated. Look, these guys have been constantly patting each other on the back for the last 20 years. Ashton made many an appearance at the white parties. You've seen the photos, you've seen the videos, they've all hit the internet. Looks like he was having a good time, channeling his inner Tarzan. Usher, once mentored by Puff Daddy himself, was often photographed at these wild parties, and he said it himself, wild things happened while hanging out with the rapper. When Usher was just getting his foot into the music industry's door, Usher spent a year living with Puff Daddy, and he opened up about this experience in a 2016 interview with Howard Stern. And sure, he made it sound like a blast, but he kinda hinted at something a little more disturbing beneath the surface. He said that he didn't understand what he was even looking at. Very curious things were taking place. How very Wonderland of him. Perhaps most telling, Usher made it clear none of his family, nope, never, would ever be attending Puffy Camp. But yet, he shipped off Justin Bieber to Puff Daddy's for like 48 hours when Justin was under his guidance. So like, come on folks, what's going on?
Back in the days when he was like 10 and I was a little bit older, his older brother, we used to fight over the Frosted Flakes, you know what I'm saying?
So one time, there was chatter that Leonardo DiCaprio had maybe stepped back from Puff Daddy because, well, he was at those parties. He was at the white parties. We saw the photos. Now, a friend of Leonardo DiCaprio's has been telling everybody who's gonna listen that, look, he hasn't been hanging out with the Bad Boy Records boss for a lengthy period of time.
Who's the person that's #1 on that invitation list?
Leonardo DiCaprio.
But like, back when Leonardo showed up at the white party in East Hampton, Puff Daddy was like, yeah, you're the #1 person I want at this bash. But sources are like, no. Leonardo had no connection with Puff Daddy after a party in '98. Which, like, I'm sorry, you did. But like, hey, say what you want, pal. All will be revealed. In the midst of everything going on this year, a resurfaced photo from the 4th of July party in the year 2000 has reignited some buzz. So there's a photo of Puff Daddy in a bed with J-Lo, Aaliyah, Andre Harrell, Damon Dash, and everybody was in white except for Puff Daddy, J-Lo, and one other person, which kind of adds to the intrigue of the moment. There's another photo where you see only J-Lo and Puff Daddy, once again cuddled up on this oversized bed with white photos that I wouldn't want to run a blacklight over. And a lot of folks online are calling the Hollywood industries very cruel after seeing the group photo. They were saying poor Aaliyah dealing with Puff Daddy, dealing with other awful names I can't say. She was so vulnerable and unprotected. Like, OMG, that poor girl was in all the wrong spaces. That industry was so cruel in the way they treated her. Look, these photos could capture, you know, intimate, joyful moments, or maybe that's just what they want to convey. I think the cheerful scene now stands in stark contrast to the grave allegations that are going on, and if anything, that casts a bit of a shadow over those once glamorous memories, if you will. A lot of fans on social media have reignited discussions around the resurfaced photos, and a lot of folks are like, hey, why isn't J-Lo speaking up? Maybe she was left traumatized during her time with the rapper, seeing as they were in a bit of a tumultuous relationship from 1999 to, you know, early 2000s. And a lot of folks are like, okay, let's give her some slack. She is going through a crazy divorce with Ben Affleck right now. But like, still, what happened during that 2-year relationship? Khloe Kardashian seemingly shared details about attending a party back in August of 2014 on an episode of Keeping Up with the Kardashians. Kourtney asked her, so, who was with you this weekend? And Khloe said, a bunch of my friends, and she named Puff Daddy by name, and also French Montana. And she continued to describe the party later in the episode, saying that she thought half the people there were in the nude. I don't want footage from that party, I don't want to see that party, but I would like to know how that happened. Paris Hilton is another powerful person who seemed to give Puff Daddy her stamp of approval by attending his lavish parties over the years. She's been snapped at various soirees with him. In one particular photo, the duo seemed friendly. They were wearing their white ensembles, and look, we all know who Paris is. She was the #1 socialite in the early 2000s, so her attending a party kind of gives it her stamp of approval. But as a survivor of wrongful harm and an advocate for people in those situations, I find it weird that Paris has been kind of silent about this situation. She used to post all the time about having an epic time hanging out at these parties, so like, girl, it's time to speak up. Howard Stern has shed light on his experience of visiting these infamous parties, and while he didn't feel anything nefarious was taking place during his alleged only one visit, he did say that he felt bad and icky during the whole time, claiming he wasn't even allowed to use the bathroom. So he went to a white party, and apparently the radio host claimed he was treated like an a-hole. Not only was he left with the schlubs in the backyard, but he was like, oh, I couldn't find Puff Daddy anywhere during the brief time I was at the party. He joked that, hey, maybe he was at the cool party inside the house, but he had no way of telling because he was forbidden from entering the premises, and he left the party early. Well, pardon me, dude, I found a photo of the two of you at a white party, so unless you attended multiple parties, and in that case, be more specific, you guys did at least say hello during the party, so what else are you lying about? Come on, fess up. Kendra Wilkinson of Girl Next Door fame went to 1 or 2 parties back in the day, saying she had a great time, she didn't really see anything, like she never really saw anything bad happening, and she went on to say that like intercourse is intercourse, she's not saying something bad didn't happen, but nothing bad ever happened to her. Damon Dash addressed a resurfaced photo of him attending one of these parties, saying like he didn't go to those parties. He went to one in the Hamptons about 20 years ago with Aaliyah, and that's about it. so I'm guessing it's the one from the photos from earlier. But he said, like, a lot of people were at those. You know what I mean? The mogul said, like, ain't seen anything happen in the Hamptons. That's the day I met Aaliyah. We hung out there, then we left. That's what happened. That was 20 years ago. All right. Well,